Alrighty, folks, we're hitting at 64% in our last 27 NFL tier package plays on my premium page. And the good news is I've got 3 more NFL tier package plays going off here for you today. Of course, I got to start off with a little bit of bad news. We don't normally do this on the show. We're normally bringing a lot of good news for you, but our NHL tier package streak, it's been broken. It was a good run. We were 15-0 with a push in our last 16 plays in that package recently. And finally, yesterday, that streak was snapped. It was snapped by half a goal. We had a puck line play. It was actually Blues puck line, plus 1.5. It was minus $1.15. Pretty good value there. And they couldn't cover the 1.5. Lost by half a goal. So we are going to take a break from that package here today. It was a really good run. Disappointing to see that streak come to a close. I really thought we could have got to 20. But anyway, hopefully you made some cash in on a good amount of tickets with that package. So unfortunately, no NHL premium plays for you here today. Going to take a little bit of a break. But we do have a slate chock full of NFL, NBA, and college basketball action here today. There's games going off all day long. So if you want to see which one of those games on the massive slate here today that I actually like the best, you may want to think about signing up for my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club package. And I'll explain a little bit more about all that at the end of the video. Of course, before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Sunday, December 8th, 2024. Happy Sunday to you. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. And of course, if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into some free content. Starting off in the NFL, we're going to take a look at this Jaguars-Titans game, 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff. Tennessee's minus 2.5, totals 40. And despite their recent struggles this year, this Titans D has actually been kind of tough to move the ball against. They're allowing fewer yards a game than any other team except for one. And when it comes to defending the pass, their secondary allows a league-low 171 yards a game through the air. And unfortunately for Jacksonville, they're 28th in yards per game, 25th in passing yards. Of course, the absence of Trevor Lawrence shouldn't help matters for these guys. Give me Tennessee minus 2.5, under 40. Next game, Falcons-Vikings, 1 o'clock East. Minnesota's minus 6.5, totals 45 and a hook. Now, the Vikes failed to cover in 6 out of their last 7 games. They have not been a great covering team. You know, they're just giving up way too many yards through the air. The secondary struggled. They're 28th in passing yards allowed, second to last in completions allowed. And I'll tell you, as much as the Falcons have struggled here recently, Kirk Cousins in this offense, they still rank in the top 5 in passing yards. So there is some potential for them to have a big day here today. I think the Falcons moved the ball a bit on this Minnesota defense. Give me Atlanta plus 6.5, over 45 and a hook. All right, next game, Panthers-Eagles, 1 o'clock East. Phillies minus 13.5, totals 45 and a hook. And this Philly offense, they lead the league in rushing, 7th in scoring. Meanwhile, Carolina, they're allowing more points a game than any other team. Worst rushing defense in the NFL. Saquon could go for 300 here today. Although, it's, I won't say it's a running back by committee, but, they got Shipley and Gainwell. So maybe they split up the touches a little bit. I don't think Jalen's going to have to do too much with his legs here today. But the Birds should be able to run the ball. We're looking at least at a 200-yard game on the ground. Has to be. Give me Philadelphia minus 13.5. All right, next game. Saints-Giants, 1 o'clock East. New Orleans is minus 5.5 away from home. Totals 41. Now, the Saints lost 8 out of their last 10 games, failed to cover in all of those contests except for 3. This New Orleans defense is allowing more scrimmage yards per play than any other team in the league. Now, the Giants on the other side, they've done a nice job defending the pass themselves. They're allowing just a $196 a game through the air, 6th in the league in sacks. When it comes to the total, 3 out of the G-Men's last 5 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, New Orleans saw overs recently against Cleveland, Carolina, and Denver. Hopefully we don't see too many drones flying over the stadium here today. Some weird, extraterrestrial activity happening in Jersey over the past few weeks. A lot of drones. But anyway, give me the Giants plus 5.5 over 41. Next matchup, Seahawks, Cardinals, 405 East. Arizona's 2.5, totals 45. The Cards saw unders in their last 4 straight, 8-2 to the under in their last 10. This Arizona D is in the top 10 in sacks. They rarely get penalized. They are a disciplined bunch. Meanwhile, Seattle, they saw unders in 5 out of their last 6 themselves. Unders against the likes of the 49ers, Rams, and this very Arizona team. I like the under 45. All right. Next and final NFL breakdown. Bills, Rams, 425 East. Buffalo's 3.5, totals 49. And both teams with their fair share of overs. Buffalo saw the over cash in their last 4 straight, 7-3 to the over in their last 10. When it comes to scoring points, Buffalo averages more points a game than any other team besides one. Now, the Rams on the other side, they saw overs recently against the likes of the Eagles, Patriots, and Vikings. They're also in the top 10 in completions per game. I like the over 49. All right, NBA action. Sixers, Bulls, 1 o'clock East. Philadelphia's 1.5, totals 235 and a hook. And both teams with their fair share of struggles on defense. Philadelphia is 24th in defensive field goal percentage, bottom 3 in blocks. Meanwhile, Chicago allows more field goals a game than any other team. Now, total-wise, Chicago went 6-2 to the over in their last 8. Philly saw overs against the likes of Charlotte, Houston, and the Clippers recently. I like the over 235.5. Next contest, Bucks, Nets, 3:30 Eastern tip-off. Milwaukee's 5.5, totals 219. And this is another one of those games where both teams have had their struggles defensively. Milwaukee's 25th in defensive rebounds, bottom 5 in takeaways. And for some reason, opposing teams are shooting 83% from the foul line against them. That is a league high. Now, Brooklyn has had their fair share of issues putting teams to the stripe. They're in the bottom 3 in free throws allowed per game. They're also 26th in defensive field goal percentage themselves. Now, total-wise, the Nets saw overs against the likes of Phoenix, Golden State, and Charlotte. Meanwhile, Milwaukee saw overs against the likes of Detroit, Washington, and Charlotte themselves. Give me the over 219. Next contest, Hornets, Pacers, 5 o'clock East. Indies, 11.5, totals 221. And tell you what, for a team laying a huge number in this spot here, the Pacers have been horrible against the point spread. They're just 1-9 against the spread in their last 10. When it comes to defensive play, they're 27th in defensive scoring. They're facing a Charlotte club who's doing some good things on offense. They're making 16 three-pointers a game. They're in the top 3 in that category. When it comes to grabbing rebounds, the Hornets are in the top 10 in offensive boards per game. I like Charlotte catching double digits here. Give me the Hornets plus 11.5 over 221. All right, next contest, Jazz Kings, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Sacramento is minus 11.5, totals 232 and a hook. Now, Sacramento is a top 10 point producing team, 6th in shooting from the field. De'Aaron Fox is averaging over 26.5 points per contest. Domantas Sabonis is shooting 41% from three-land. Now, the Jazz on the other side having all kinds of problems on offense. They're averaging just 109 points a game, bottom 5 in field goals made. Now, 4 out of Utah's last 7 contests stayed under the total. Meanwhile, Sacramento saw unders against the likes of Memphis, Portland, and Brooklyn. Give me the Kings minus 11.5, under 232 and a hook. All right, next contest, Rockets, Clippers, 9 o'clock East. Houston's minus 3.5, totals 215 and a hook. Now, the Rockets saw unders recently against the likes of the Warriors, Blazers, and Bucks. They're also playing some real good defense. They're allowing just 11 made three-pointers a game. Now, the Clippers on the other side, they played some pretty tough defense themselves. They're 3rd in the league in scoring defense, 3rd in steals. 6 out of their last 10 ball games also stayed under the total. Give me the under 215.5. Next game, Blazers-Lakers, 9:30 p.m. East. The Lakers are -9, totals 224.5. As bad as Portland's been, well, the Lakers have been equally as dismal, at least recently. They took the loss in 8 out of their last 10, failed to cover in all of those contests except for 2. When it comes to defensive play, the Lakers are currently dead last in defensive field goal percentage. Their opponents are making nearly 50% of their attempts from the field against them. They're facing a Portland squad who covered recently against the likes of the Kings, Pacers, and Houston. Shaedon Sharpe leads the lineup in scoring. Anthony Simons averages over 16.5 points a game himself. I like the Blazers to at least keep this one within double digits. Give me Portland +9 over 224.5. All right, let's slide into some college basketball. Oklahoma State taking on Seton Hall, 12 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Oklahoma State is -2 away from home, totals 133.5. Now, the Cowboys are 5-2 on the season, but they're just 2-5 against the point spread, struggling a bit covering the number. When it comes to defensive play, well, these guys are allowing nearly double-digit three-pointers a game, having a tough time guarding that deep ball. They're actually 302nd in the country in defending the field goal as well. And they're facing a Seton Hall team who's definitely been tough on the defensive end of the court themselves. These guys allow just 56 points a game. That's 3rd in the country in that particular category. And no real surprise, they're limiting their opponents to just 19 made field goals a game. Dylan Adai-Wusu has 14 steals on this season. Garwy Dole is tied with him in steals as well. Of course, Chauncey Jenkins, he's leading the roster in rebounds. I like the Pirates to frustrate Oklahoma State in this spot here. I don't think this is a great spot for the Cowboys, traveling a bit. Give me Seton Hall +2, under 133.5. All right, next matchup, a little Big Ten action. Maryland-Purdue, 12 o'clock East. Purdue is -4.5, totals 143. Now, the Boilermakers did fail to cover in their last 2 straight. I realize this is, not a huge number here, but they actually allowed 80 points a game on average in those failures to cover. And they're going to have to do better than that because Maryland can get to the cup. They're averaging over 86 points a game. They're 30th in the nation in field goals made per game. Of course, 6'10" Derek Queen, he's certainly helping out with that. He's averaging over 16.5 points a game. Jacoby Gillespie shoots 40% from three-land. I like Maryland, at least keeping this one close. This could be a close matchup. Should be pretty competitive here. I like the Terrapins +4.5 over 143. All right, next game, another one should be a good one. 2 really good shooting teams. Kansas, Missouri, 1 o'clock East. Kansas is -6 away from home, totals 154.5. Now, the Jayhawks are making nearly 51% of their attempts from the field. They lead college basketball right now at offensive field goal percentage. Big Hunter Dickinson leads the roster in scoring. Zeke Mayo averages 12 points a game. Now, Missouri on the other side, they failed to cover in their last 2 straight, 3-5 against the spread for the entire season. I think the Jayhawks do get the job done in a shootout here. Give me Kansas -6 over 154.5. All right, next ball game, UConn, Texas, 5 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Texas is -1, totals 141. And for some reason, it is not listed on our big screen, but that should be a good matchup. The 7-1 Longhorns are making 50% of their field goals as a team. They're 11th in the nation in fewest turnovers, doing a good job. They're crisp, don't really play all that sloppy. Freshman Trey Johnson, he's averaging over 20.5 points a game for the Longhorns, 44% shooting from three-land. And Arthur Kaluma is 2nd on the roster in scoring, 8 rebounds a night for him. And I don't know what it is. Maybe the refs are gunning for UConn. I don't know if they're, picking on them or not. But, man, the Huskies have put a lot of men to the foul line this year. They're 301st in the nation in free throws allowed per game. When it comes to defending the three ball, they haven't been good there either. They actually ranked 313th in defensive three-point percentage. I think the Longhorns get the job done in the Moody Center. Give me Texas -1 over 141. All right, next matchup. Another one should be a good one. UCLA taking on Oregon, 6 o'clock East. Oregon's -4, totals 139. Now, the Ducks saw unders in 5 out of their last 8, doing a great job on defense. They're limiting their opponents to just 39% shooting from the field, 29% shooting from three-land. And, speaking of defensive play, it's UCLA on the other side who's actually allowing fewer points a game than any other school in the nation. They give up an NCAA best 53 points a game on D. And no real surprise here, they're first in the country in fewest field goals allowed. And real quick, out of 8 total games this year for the Bruins, the under cashed in all those contests except for one. Should have another close one here. Give me the under 139. All right, next and final breakdown for the video. Some ACC action. Duke taking on Louisville, 6 o'clock East. Duke is -8.5 away from home. Totals 145. The Blue Devils are 6-2 straight up on the season, 5-3 against the point spread. When it comes to defensive play, Duke's limiting their competition to just 36% shooting from the field. They're actually in the top 20 in scoring defense. They're facing a Louisville squad who really doesn't shoot the long ball well. These guys are making only 27% of their long balls. Of course, as a team, they lost their last 2 straight. Just 63 points a game they averaged in those losses. I like Duke -8.5, under 145. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. I like the Titans -2.5, under 40 in the NFL. Atlanta Falcons +6.5, over 45.5. We're hitting at 64% in our last 27 NFL tier package plays on my premium page. Give me the Eagles -13.5, getting the job done against Carolina. Dolphins -5.5, under 45. Steelers -6, under 44. Raiders +7, over 47. Giants +5.5, over 41. Give me the under 45 in the Seahawks Cardinals game. Niners -2.5, under 43.5. Give me the over 49 in the Bills Rams game. NBA, give me the over 235.5 in the Sixers Bulls game. Over 219 in the Bucks Nets matchup. Hornets +11.5, over 221. I like the under 224 in the Cavaliers Heat game. I like the over 241.5 in the Nuggets Hawks matchup. Give me Orlando -2, over 210. Memphis -10.5, over 240.5. I like the under 227 in the Pelicans Spurs game. Under 216 in the Timberwolves Warriors game. Sacramento Kings -11.5, under 232.5. I like the under 215.5 in the Houston Clippers game. And give me Portland +9, over 224.5. College basketball, Seton Hall +2, under 133.5. Richmond +30, under 145. Maine +6, over 137. Maryland +4.5, over 143. Vanderbilt -2.5, over 150. Cornell -6, over 156.5. Maryland Eastern Shore +6.5, over 127. Tarleton State +25.5, under 135. St. Peter's +1.5, over 131. Canisius +5.5, over 134. Niagara +2.5, over 126. Harvard -9.5, over 135. Kansas -6, over 154.5. Robert Morris +9.5, over 147. Mount St. Mary's -2, over 138. Northeastern -7, over 134.5. Cincinnati -29, over 140.5. Ball State +3.5, under 136.5. Sacred Heart +5.5, under 149. Marist minus 1.5 over 38, over 138 and a hook. Bucknell plus 7.5 under 134. Texas State minus 4.5 over 135. Texas Tech minus 1.5 over 142. LSU minus 15 under 139.5. Samford minus 12.5 over 151. St. Louis minus 27 over 154. Mercer minus 3.5 over 153 and a hook. Arkansas State plus 15 under 153. Murray State minus 16 over 144.5. Mississippi State minus 38 over 163. Jacksonville State plus 4 under 134. Louisiana Tech minus 6.5 over 146. Texas Longhorns minus 1 over 141. Dartmouth plus 11 over 152.5. Give me the under 139 in the UCLA-Oregon game. Give me Duke minus 8.5 under 145. Give me Iowa State minus 35.5 under 143 and a hook. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, just a friendly final reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame absolutely free. They're going to be included with your membership. That's why I was telling folks that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And of course, that NFL package is included with that membership. Now, if you do just sign up for the NFL package, it is going to give you access to 3 premium NFL selections each and every week for the next 30 days. And obviously, you get all the cheaper memberships as well. But most importantly, folks, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site.